Welcome to Right There With You, where we lean into life's biggest questions, challenge what we think we know, and discover the strength we've had all along.
This is my friend and co-host, Ciarra Jones, theologian and lifelong explorer of faith, identity, and purpose.
And say hello to my co-host and buddy, Cass Cooper, a professional chaos whisperer who loves untangling the complexities of human relationships.
Here we embrace the journey, no matter how uncertain, or transformative it gets.
And no matter where you are on yours, we're right there with you.
It is the end of 2025. We are rolling into 2026. It's coming in hot. I feel like it was just like May. And now the year is pretty much over and we're getting ready for next year. But how are you doing, my friend? What's new? What's happening?
You know what? It has been, our episode today is called Look Back at It. And we're just reflecting on the year, what has been good, what has been bad. See, he was just throwing it, but I'm the one catching it. You know what I mean?
I hear it.
No, I mean, I was going to say, bring Asriella here. So I don't mean catching it from Kaz. I just meant like, our gender orientation of the throw versus catch is a little different. So maybe she's in the club throwing it back. I'm in the club catching it.
In 2026, I might be catching it. I don't know.
Let me tell you, gender is fluid. Gender presentation is fluid. Our literal positions can be fluid. All of that, you know.
Why are we were so
I don't know. So yeah, I just want to clarify. Ain't nobody taking me from my baby. It's true. I'm locked up. I'm locked down.
And I adore her. Yeah. And she gave me a hair hack that I might try. I just think she's like so great. And I love seeing y'all. This year I've loved seeing y'all like grow and flourish and blossom. And you're a lover girl at the end of the day. So I love seeing you in your lover girl status.
I am a lover girl at the end of the day. And also, like, it's been so beautiful. Like, right now, my partner's in the other room talking to my brother. So it's been nice to see my family be so connected to my partner, my best friends being so connected. I think, as I think about this episode, I'm reflecting.
Wait, am I your best friend?
Yes, I will. I know. I gotta say, because I have a few other best friends who are listening. I have a few best friends, but
I love that.
and there's no hierarchy of best friends. If you're the best friend category, you all are there together. And yes,
it's a small group. Name them, but it's all best friend category, right? I have my closest, dearest friend. I have my lifelong platonic love, who we actually also talked to earlier today. I have
she's amazing, amazing.
My dear close friend. Like, everybody has a different category, but it's all the same tier.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, it's like MySpace top 8, but there's not a rank of the 8. You all are top 8. I'm aging myself with that reference, and I don't care about that.
I don't care. You need to bring it back because people need to know they're out.
You need to know where you stand. No, I will say, if there is a hierarchy, then my mom and my brother, I guess, would be my best friends, but like, they're my family, you know what I mean? But, I think as I reflect, it's this year has been imperfect, but I think more beautiful than I've given it credit for. I think I have had a lot of frustration about all the places I have not been this year, but as I look towards 2026, weirdly enough, I'm presently surprised at what I have been able to accomplish this year, both by myself and in community, this podcast with you, so many other things. So it's funny because I would say overall throughout the year, I feel like I was having a lot of maybe more negative self-assessment. But as the year comes to an end and I really look back, I'm like, you know what? It's been a beautiful amalgamation of good and bad. It makes me think about an Inside Out when she was seeing memories all as one color, whether it's sad or it's happy. And I think when I look at this year, I realize it's a kaleidoscope of things. Some was grief, some was beautiful, some was rebirth, and it's all good. And it's nice to feel that way because I haven't always felt that way in the present moment. But as I look back, I can access that. So what comes up for you?
Well, I think it's really powerful. And a big reason why it's important to do these reflective kind of moments is because it allows you to ground yourself in not accomplishment per se, but I'm actually living my life rather than life is happening to me. Because I think we forget that we made choices along the way and I decided to do this instead of that. And that put me here. And I feel great about that. Or even if you don't feel like the best about the decisions you made, looking back at it and saying, okay, what did I learn and how can I do it differently? You can't always do that in the immediate moment. And so I love the time in December is always a busy month for me. Like, I have a conference that I speak at every year in December, then my kid's birthday, then it's Christmas. But I always take the last week of the year and do nothing.
Mm,
And
mm.
being able to do that this year, I'm actually like super looking forward to it because it's going to give me time not only to set up for 2026, but also to like, you know what? I didn't do so great in the moment, but I did do great in the end.
Yes! I think that's such a beautiful quote. I feel like it's like I couldn't assess myself as great in the moment because it's like we often have a especially around Black women, I think so much about Black women and superhero syndrome or superwoman syndrome, this idea we should be able to do it all, and I think for Black women, a lot of us, perfect gets in the way of good, and perfect gets in the way of celebration and iterative growth, like, there's been so much that I've learned, like, even this year on this pod, like, I have been sometimes burnt out, and I've called Cass and been like, "I'm sorry because I wanted to put more into it this year." And then when I looked back and looked through our episodes, I actually was really proud of what we were able to build, and I have to give Cass her flowers for so much of the, admin work that she's done, both in the front of the house and back of the house. You're incredible, and I've been able to I think when I thought about the pod often, I would feel like it was one of those projects I didn't hold well this year, but then I realized I held it imperfectly, and that's okay. Like, there were some days I've had energy to record, some days I didn't, but we still recorded most Fridays of the year, which is not easy. We kept moving forward. Both of our social media has grown. It's good.
Even when we did not record, we still touched base. And because
Yes.
remember, we started because
Yes.
we to hold each other accountable for the goals that we had, and that was the
Mhm.
whole premise of, like, us having a meeting on Fridays. And so, yes, because we're both Capricorns and that's just how our brains work, we decided to make it into a work project. But I think no matter what, even if we didn't record or have like a work thing, and even when, because there was a few Fridays where we would come to it and I would be like, let's go, da 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 da. And you're like, no, wait, let's take a breath. And like, do you want to talk about what's actually happening in your life? And I think that's actually the benefit of honestly, that's the benefit of working alongside Black women
Mm.
is we put community first in a way that I don't really get from other projects. Like,
Yeah.
we take a moment to be like, "But are you real?" Like, it's okay to say no and giving each other space to really exist and to have those ebbs and flows of our full lives rather than it being just about a work product or a project or whatever that looks like. So I appreciate you also in being able to do that.
Yes, no, of course. I think we do it well together, and again, there's been so much you've led in this podcast project this year, and something that, gardening teaches me is, like, even if we've talked about maybe differentiating our pods next year, or we're ideating together and figuring out what next steps look like, and something that's been cool about this project, whether we do it long term or whether we close it out and move into other things and keep supporting and amplifying each other, gardening reminds me whether work is for like, that seasonal work is good too, like, every season the garden dies, it has to, like, even if you keep it going all year long, you need to switch out your summer vegetables for your fall and winter vegetables for then your spring harvest. There's something about churning the soil and allowing change to happen. And so I think too, what's this project has reminded me to embrace trying things out with content, trying new ideas. And like I said, not letting perfect be the enemy of the good, but also like embracing some play around career and content. And yeah, just getting out of this idea that like I love that meme, and I'm doing a visualization with my hand here, just for folks who are listening, like, where it shows, like, you think this is growth, and it's, like, a linear line going up, but it's actually, like, this, like, up and down curve, and I think,
I
like,
like the one
the
where it's a
pod shows me
spiral.
that.
I like the
Yeah, I
one where
like
it's
that
a spiral because I
too.
feel like
Yeah.
you spiral up to the side around it at sometimes you'll come back to the same place, but you've grown differently. So I guess my question, thinking of like going back to like the garden analogy is what are some of the things that you are turning over in the soil of your life from 2025? Like what are some things that you're just gonna like leave here? Have you thought about that yet?
Ooh, that's such a good question. So I'm gonna answer, and then it's going back to you. I think that, this year, I've had actually like a health concern, which is if some of our listeners might have had it before. It's called like vocal nodules. It's basically a vocal overuse disorder, and I hadn't really been. I've had it come up before in my life, and they've gone away because you go on vocal rest and you change your lifestyle. And this year, I didn't. I just kept kind of working and working, and I had my checkup, and they kind of were like, "Not this isn't positive, negative." They kind of were like, "Okay, your voice is not in a good place." And but they said your voice is a proxy for your stress. Like it is an overuse
Right.
disorder. So what this is telling us is something in your life is out of balance. And I think for me, like I can only really re-examine my work-life balance when I feel like I have a little permission. And unfortunately, sometimes my health becomes that permission because I'm like, well, I actually have to make a change to how I live so I can be well. So I think that experience has been realizing the one thing I need to really turn over is diversifying my where I find my source of well-being and having a more humane approach to work and growth. I love what hustle has given me, and I think now my body's telling me, like, "Hustle has given you so much, and now this is not," but it's also from survival, and now there needs to be another way of being in relationships. So, gonna be reading that ministry and really trying to figure out rest is resistance, I'm sorry, and yeah, just trying to figure out the interplay of that. Curious your thoughts, and same question back to you.
Well,
What are you churning on?
one, I'm proud of you for recognizing that, and that is a very early phase realization because I too had that probably around, like, my early to mid 30s of, like, I am burnt out and this is not sustainable.
Mhm.
And that's a big part of my story too of, like, in the keynotes I do of, being in burnout recovery and,
Yes.
what that is and how, debilitating it is, and I wanna encourage anybody who's listening or even you, because, like, what we don't realize is that it's one thing to recognize the burnout, it's a whole 'nother thing to start, changing your nervous system to help you not keep being burnout, and then it's another thing, a 3rd level, which I think I'm just now entering, is being mentally okay with the rest that you need in order to not burn out. Like, that
Yes.
is, like, the 3rd arc, and I'm like, "Wait, no, I am listening to my body now, and I'm
Yes.
good with that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this." For me, it shows up a lot of times with, not doing the dishes. Like, I feel really guilty, but then I'm like, "Who cares?
Yeah. I
It's
love
just
that.
dirty dishes." And I have to, literally tell myself that. So, just know, give yourself some peace and some grace, and, I'm glad that you're recognizing that you have been in survival mode, but it's gonna take a
Mhm.
little while. It might take a few.
Tries. Yeah, no, it's gonna take time, and I think, 1, I just love everything you said, and I wanna even hear more about what that burnout recovery work has looked like, because 'cause I'm sure some of our listeners would love just, like, some high level tips around how do we address burnout with ourselves, and I think some of the first part for me has been accepting my limitations, and also accepting that our baseline has changed. Like, I think as I've gotten older, it's hard I'm like, "Well, I can't hustle in the way I did when I was 20 or when I was 25." But some of that hustle, yes, it can come from, like, maybe you have a little more energy when you're younger, but I don't like the I try to, I hope my whole life I have high energy, and I think that, we just normalize this idea of aging and no energy. I don't think that's good, but I think, also when you're in your 20s, I think we're also oftentimes hustling to be seen, hustling to demonstrate our value, and something I learned over and over again is, the hustle doesn't matter if you're not well, and also your value was never in your productivity. I wanna produce if I feel purpose and connection to it, but I think especially doing so much public facing content, I had to remind myself all the time, my worth is not in public approval or my next good idea. It is in myself, and my work, especially as a theologian, is to help people see the sacredness of themselves and to
Mhm.
continue to see the sacredness of myself even as I'm growing and learning, and I'm a baby at that, but it's important work for me, and that
Yeah.
comes out when I hear you talk about burnout and, how because when you said the thing about we often aren't ready to embrace the rest it requires, I think it's because it feels like that rest is antithetical to some kind of identity, and for me, it
Totally,
is.
totally, because you spend all this time building your identity around the hustle, around.
Yes!
And I hate this, and this is one of the things going into, some of the things that I'm gonna leave. I loathe the booked and busy, that phrase, I hate it. I don't wanna be booked and busy. I wanna be peaceful and paid.
Come
Someone
on
told
now,
me
come
that,
on. The
it was really.
PP,
I wanna be peaceful and paid. 2 things can
P
be true. I
squared.
don't want to be just booked and going and going and going. For what? No, I wanna have peace. I wanna be able to have economic stability enough that I can sit down somewhere when I want to and need to, and
Mm,
not wait until I am, burnt out again, right? And I think I got a lot of that from, just reflecting on, my dad. My dad literally, for those who don't know listening, my dad passed away in 2021, and it was, during the middle of the pandemic, so he's working from home, and he literally logged into his computer, made coffee, and then had a heart attack. I don't wanna
yeah,
that's crazy to me.
yeah,
Thinking about that, I think about that a lot of, if this is my last existence,
mhm,
what are the things that I want to be doing? And I don't want it to be centered around work.
absolutely. I mean, I've been yeah, thank you, 1, for sharing that about your father, and that's what a profound and painful, realization of, we're all we can be cogs in the wheel of capitalism, and
Mm.
we're taught to give someone like it's no like your dad is doing what we're all, especially as Black folks, socialized to do. He's doing we've been taught as how we prove our value, especially to America. Show up, work hard, keep your head down, all those things that we learn. And it can be hard when we see that play out and then realize, oh my gosh, we need to globalize our worth, or these corporations and institutions don't care about us. And that's, I think that it's beautiful that you were able to learn that from a really, really hard moment. And I know that your dad also has taught you so many amazing things too,
Oh, yeah,
probably
listen,
about life
that's
and living.
like I've always joked, I'm like, "I'm just gonna put all of his little sayings in a book," and, like, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's a 2026 goal, but I
That
think
would
one
be
of the
great.
things I'm leaving
Carousel. You get an
carousel.
Instagram carousel with his quotes. I would love to see that and be able to honor him with you. So
That's a good idea. Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I'm snatch it, I'm doing
take
it.
it, take it, take it. Use.
So I think one of the things I'm leaving in 2025, I recently had I can't believe I'm actually gonna talk about this. This is so weird. I had a rekindling,
Mhm.
a little spicy,
Danger.
and it made me realize some things about myself. And I think one, I'm not the person that I was when I dated this person before. So I think that
Mhm.
shows
Have
a lot of
changed. Yeah.
growth. But I'm leaving in 2025 this idea of being perfect in relation to other people. I think that, like, I
I need to
have
hear
worked
that.
really, really hard on, like, being good in my relationship with myself, but I still project this, like, I want other people to see me in a certain way, and so I wanna make sure that I'm showing up, even if it's at the detriment of myself, in that way for them because I want them to see me that way. And I just kinda like, I have to do that.
Mm, mm. Is it
I
this
don't wanna
fear
do
that
that.
if you show up imperfectly, you'll lose that relationship, whether it's friendship or
Or
family
that
or yes.
they won't care about me. I think it's, deep-seated in, like, a fear of abandonment,
Mhm.
like, that one day that they're gonna see too much and then walk away from it. And
Yeah.
I think one of the things that, this reconnection, like, made clear for me is, like, I'm not responsible for the way that they see me. I'm responsible for showing up fully as myself, and they're responsible for choosing whether or not they want to 1, see me that way, or 2, be interacting with me that way. And
Mm.
it's okay that that's not my choice. Like,
Yeah.
no amount of ebbing and flowing and being malleable is going to keep someone from making a choice to be or not be in my life. And
Mm.
the people that are going to be in my life are going to be the ones who can show up fully and mess when I'm messy, when I'm in the best version of myself, who are going to amplify my work, who are going to take my phone call in the middle of the night, who are going to, you know, allow me to be, like, there for them also, and that it is that gift of, like, of not being perfect, right? And so,
Mm.
like, in my work, I'm very like, "Okay, perfect is the enemy of done, like, let's just
Mm.
keep going."
Mm.
But in my personal life, I don't do that as well. Like,
Mm.
I need to make sure that I am this version of Cass all the time, even if I'm too tired, even if I'm burnt out, even if I have
Yeah.
other things that I would rather be doing, quite frankly.
Yes. No, I really, really resonate. Like, I definitely feel like I want, like, perfect behavior to protect me relationally, to make sure that I don't experience disruption or, as you mentioned, abandonment or rejection or just hurt somebody. Like, I think that, like, all those things are very activating for me, and I have also had the experience, and I wonder if this comes from a real experience for you of, like, I did have a really hard year, and within that year, I did lose some community because I was depressed, because I wasn't always showing up in the way that they were used to me showing up. And not that I was being necessarily, like, harmful to anyone or being, like, like, or being verbally unkind or anything like that, just more so just down, and I think needing a lot of love poured into me in that season, and I feel like I did showing that to some community made me feel like I lost friendships, and it made me actually, like, kind of retreat into myself. And lately I've gone back to more being of my norm of sharing with my community. And I've realized, like, as Riel told me this, and I was in resistance to it at the time because I was like, it's my fault and I should have dealt with my depression myself. I shouldn't have showed this and it pushed people away. And she said to me, like, no, like, it really is a shedding. And I think now that I have been more open about the things that are going well in my life now and the things I need help with, I've realized, one, I am always a community oriented person. I need a committee to help me solve my stuff. I need my committee of friends, and not that I need them to make the decision for me, but I need them to be able to hear me and pour back into me who I am. I've always been someone who knows myself best through others and through community. And two, it's shown me that the right community will stay in it with you. They'll wrestle with it in you. Like, even friendships that I reached out to that I've stayed, that I've said, like, hey, in my period of depression, like, was I too much or this or that? And they'd be like, no, I love you and I want to show up for you. And like, here's how you can show up for me now in this season. Like, we're able to have a dialogue about capacity and need. So yeah, I've learned that one, great friends will in the fire with you. You will shed some folks in hard seasons, but it's not because you're failing. It's because you're both being honest about your capacity and needs, which can be painful. And three, like for me, I need community. I am my best in community with others and I'm not grounded without others, you know?
But you know what? I think though, Ciarra, that's not something that's unique to you. I think that's like actually the point, right?
Mhm,
Like that's
mhm,
kind of like the point of life. Like we're not meant Oh, I'm about to get churchy. We're not meant to do life by ourselves. And I think a lot of times, like when we get in the like a church heteronormative space, like we say, oh, that means you're supposed to be married or in partnership. No, it means that you're supposed to live your life in community so that people can be there for you and
mhm,
like pull you into the things. Some of the most heartbreaking moments I've had have also been coupled with some really beautiful moments because I had community and I had people to help me and to cocoon me in and take care of me.
mm,
That doesn't mean that I couldn't do it myself because I probably could, but is that the
mhm,
best version of it? And I think I
mm,
read an article recently though about how for women it does unlock something, and I don't know how much I believe in this. The science behind like gender is always sketchy. Just so let's just put that caveat
mhm.
because I feel
Yeah, of
like
course.
it's
Yeah.
a social concept construct.
Yeah.
But socially for women, there's something in our brains that does unlock when we are in community and we process out loud.
Mhm,
Like there's a
mhm.
value in processing things out loud. And that's why it's so important
Yes.
to ask your friends when they come to you, do you need me to listen? Do you need me to get mad with you? Or do you need me to problem solve? Like, what do you need from me in this moment right now? Because I can do all those things, but your process might be different from what and the emotional intelligence, the being able, that's what whispering to people's chaos and whispering to your own chaos does, is
Mhm,
it allows you to be emotionally available in the way that your community can need and
mm,
really rely on you. I know which friends I want to go to if like I'm coming to you if I need intellectual sparring and like all of that, but I'm also coming to you if I need like a little bit of kindness to myself because you're going to be
mm,
and you're gonna say, I you say it to me all the time, "I need you to be gentler to yourself." And I'll be like,
mhm, mhm.
"He's right." But I know if I want somebody to get mad with me, I'm calling that Sagittarius Cassie Clayton, and Imma be like, "Girl, we about to fight." She'd be like, "Who we fighting? What we doing? Da, da, da." She's like, "No, that's crazy. Da, 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 da." Like, I know, but I wouldn't know that if I wasn't able to sit in community with people.
Yes,
This one
yes.
is really I'm just gonna try to keep moving. But
Oh, very good. The framing looks great. But no, I think yes, that's like I like that you said that. It's true. It's not like it's definitely not unique to me. I mean, we all are such unique of community. And I had to give one of my public health professors his flowers because like or her flowers. Like maybe 10 years ago, my public health class at Berkeley, she said in 10 years, the biggest global issue in the world will be loneliness. And I think that and how clairvoyant I always say Black women scholars are clairvoyant and exist in the future and so much clairvoyance there.
Yes, like, you said that on one of the episodes, the Brene Brown
Yeah,
episode, you said,
yeah,
Black women's academic scholarship always exists in the future, whereas white
yes.
women are allowed to exist in the present.
Yes, yes, exactly, and I think there's something important
Good
about
take
that.
on that.
No, thank you. I should put that on Instagram too because I thank you for that, and I'm so grateful to my Black women professors for living in the future because the classes became time travel, like, and it was yeah, Back to the Future. But no, but seriously, I mean, Black women really are time travelers, and the way that they think about academia and just knowledge production. And I think, like, in some ways, I've been off TikTok, like, as a scroller. I've only really been making content lately. I haven't been scrolling. I mean, I always scroll, but not as much as I used to. And I actually think that's helped my interpersonal relationships because when I got on TikTok, especially in the height of COVID, there just was so much about, like, how to be in relationship with each other. But I think it actually was very, now when I look back, was very white supremacist models of community. It's all about how
Yeah.
we set boundaries. It's all about, how we create. I think boundary culture is important. Nedra Tawwab's book, Setting Boundaries, Finding Peace. It's important, I think, that we have that language. I forget who said this, but like boundaries is a distance at which I can love you and myself. And I think that's really great language.
Therapist
You
told
said
me
it. Your therapist said it. Okay, yeah. I'm like, someone said that to me. So shout out to Cass's therapist. But I also think what we still don't have language around well in our culture is reconciliation, repair, and continuous mutual growth. I think we have more language than ever around how to be boundaried and less skills than ever about how to repair, be in community, and the mess of that, and that's made it, at least for me and you, it sounds like sometimes scary to be our authentic self, and I think it's meant that sometimes our friends aren't bringing their authentic selves to us, and we all lose in that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of, like, future things, because I think and I'll go first because you just said
Mhm,
what I was gonna say is, so what's something that you wanna work on in 2026 and in the next year? And for me, it is not necessarily reconciliation because I do think there's some people that have been in my life before that I'm gonna keep my hard boundary, and that's just the most healthy thing for me.
mhm,
But I do want to relationally maybe work a little bit more at being in that messy middle and not taking and I don't want to say like not taking everything so personally because like I impacts me, right? But also being able to hold my own messy, like my own boundary while still recognize while not trying to save someone from their own messiness, right? Because I think a lot of the boundaries that I've put up is because, firstborn daughter, I'm trying to save everybody. I'm trying to like, help people escape and be in control of people's emotional output and so I had to put up those boundaries because I was not able to not do that. And so
mm,
now I'm like, no, I can trust myself to know, like,
mm,
I'm not going to jump in and save you, but I can still be in community with you. We can still have
yeah,
a relationship. Like,
like,
that's okay.
you felt like you would overextend yourself.
Totally. Totally. And of course, because like Capricorn, firstborn daughter, like Enneagram 3, like, pick any the human design, like all of my things point to I am a problem solver. Like that is part of who I am and who I've been socialized to be. And so now I'm like, I think that I'm ready to try. I don't know how successful I'm gonna be, but try to do both of like, no, these are the things that I like about this relationship and this interaction, and these are the things that I don't, and I can just say that.
Mhm, mhm. Absolutely. I think that that is so important, like, being able to, one, like, name our own capacity. I think that's important too, like, sometimes we can feel resentful in relationship, but then maybe we've said we want I've been guilty of this, like, I say I wanna do something, but then when I do it, I realize I'm doing it, and I have a little bit of resent in my heart or frustration, and I have to be like, "You know what? The frustration actually shouldn't be at that person, it's at me because I overextended myself." So I do think also part of being in community is being it calls us back into ourselves to realize when we're extending and when we're not. And the community, we always kind of are negotiating the ways we can show up. Something now I'll say with my friends, for my voice, for example, I'll need to go on vocal rest soon because my doctor told me I have to go on vocal rest soon, which means for a couple weeks I can't be on the phone or I can't this do or this. So are there other ways I can show up? So I think ultimately community is a place where we should be able to have our capacity respected. I don't think community should be hypervigilance or overextending. And I think it also means our friends' capacities can be expected. So I don't know. It's like it's this constant back and forth negotiation that I hear you
Yeah.
kind of naming that's
'Cause
important.
what I think the best communities, like one of he's a trans scholar or trans activist in Missouri, Ben Green, and he said, I'm trying not to butcher it, but he said, the best communities are built as you need them, right?
Mm,
Yeah, that's exactly how he says it. The best communities are built as you need them because you're able to be in yourself and be with them at the same time that they are being with themselves and like it's like a
yeah,
parallel journey rather than we're going to build a community because we have all of these same things in common and this is the community because then you get boxed in, you know?
yeah, yeah.
I
I love
think
that.
like being able to do that is so powerful and helpful and yeah,
I
like
love
I feel like
that.
even like in our relationship, we built the community that we have and the like between each other because at the time, like we both needed the thing, right? And
Mm,
so
mm,
we show up for this person in this way, they're going to show up for me in this way, and this is how we're going to build it, and we're going to continue to maintain that. And I think those are the best adult relationships, is the ones that
yeah,
you choose. I'm going to be in community with you, and I'm going to care for you, and this is what my capacity is, and being able
yeah,
to engage in that. Yeah.
yes, and
What
I
are
love that.
you looking forward to in 26?
What am I looking forward to the most? Yeah, I think it's very similar to you. Like I think I hope to continue to have a healthy relationship with community, and a lot of it is not with, like, any frustration with my friends. Like, my friends are great. More so, like, I can often leave interactions thinking, "Did I show up enough?" Or, like, I can be very hypervigilant to myself. So I hope to have a gentler internal monologue and get to just enjoy being around community versus, like, having this secondary I don't know,
Mhm.
thing running in the back rumination in the back of my head about I don't know that I think is a little bit of hypervigilance. I think that's come because I have lost some friends over the last couple of years. I think I've forgotten to be able to celebrate the parts of myself that are positive that I bring to communities. I hope to be able to
Well,
remind
thanks
myself
so
that I
much.
am a good friend, and thank you, thank you. Yeah, I wanna feel good in community, so I hope I can have a gentler internal monologue and really cultivate joy with my friends. I think really want to continue to interrogate the place that shame is in my life and quiet that voice and allow more self-compassionate voice to come up and really work on my work-life balance. Those are the things that I'm looking forward to. But I hope overall just having a gentler, kindler relationship with myself in all aspects. Like, I think I'm so nice to myself when I'm having a great week and I'm performing well and I feel good here. But the moment something is off track, it's so negative. So I want to have a really work on a consistent, kind relationship to myself. And I'm looking forward to that because I think I'll be able to enjoy my day to day more. So that's the biggest work is self compassion and self acceptance.
I love that.
And what I'm
Okay,
looking
so
forward to
sacred
the most
descent,
too.
I'm gonna flip it on its head a little bit, okay?
Give it to me.
Um, as my friend and as your
Hmm.
friend,
Hmm.
what is a secret descent you wish that I would take into 26? And then I'll give you one. You little twist.
I love it. This is perfect timing. I love this. Okay. What is the thing I think okay, this is a great exercise. I honestly wanna challenge our audience to do it with themselves with their
Yeah,
friends
I
or
I
who
think,
they're
like, leave it
listening
in the
with.
comments or, like, send this to
Yeah.
somebody that you want to, like, encourage with a new sacred descent in 26.
Yes, please, please do. Yes, and thank you for being our listeners this year and being along the ride with us. If you're new to the pod, Sacred Descent is something we do at the end of every episode, and it's what it sounds like. How are we dissenting from the norm in a way that feels sacred to us? And I love this practice of doing it for each other. So for you, I think the phrase that comes up to me is holding things more loosely is actually what comes up. Like, I think that whether it is your journey of self discovery, I feel like you feel a pressure of like you have to arrive versus allowing it to continue to unfold. So that could be around yourself, your relationships, who you are. Like, you never have to arrive. But the brave work is the fact that you're willing to always interrogate who you are in the world. That's the work. That's the brave work. If those answers change, that's not a betrayal to a former self. That's the evolution of the questions being answered in a new way, like throughout your life. So I think holding yourself
Mhm.
more loosely and celebrating the courage you have around introspection is something that I love to see you embrace as sacred and being able to trust what you are building. Like I think something that you do so well in this pod is like you are the master of getting us to execution. You're the master of creating new packages and services and content ideas and I think sometimes you don't I would love to see you trust more of what you're building. Like my mom always says, if you build it, they will come. And so even if you have a month where you're not building something new, you built so much, there's already a staircase you built for people to come meet you at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like you're building that already. So I hope you can
God, I'm
trust
gonna cry.
what
I
you're
need
building,
that.
you know. Okay, but my last quote to you actually within this, Cat Williams just talked about this, which I thought it was so beautiful. He said, take all that pressure you're applying to yourself and apply it to God. And I thought, oof, I love that. So it's like
Not
maybe when
Cat
you
Williams being a philosopher.
I love that because you know, maybe you put out a video and then the pressure you're applying to yourself, but it's applied to God, apply it to the universe and say, I put that out now and I trust that it's going to land where it's going to land. I trust that it's foundational. I trust that even if it's not the thing, it's a building block to the next thing. And I love that because we just forget how much we don't control. You're putting the work out there. And so, yeah, I'd love to see you embrace flexibility. I'd love to see you embrace self trust. And I'd love to see you take the pressure off you and just see the beauty of all you're building.
Thank you. Okay, mine for you. I'm gonna do 2 parts. 1, I would love for you to sacredly acknowledge that you are a leader of leaders.
Hmm.
You're not the one
Mm,
being led. You are the one who is doing the leading
mm,
because your work, your intellect, the way that you show up, not just for your friends, but for your community and your jobs and in your business, you are shaping
mm,
culture.
mm.
Every day you say
Wow.
something or an old video or article that you wrote or whatever, it is influencing the next iteration of somebody's leadership, like, every day, all day. So, like, I want you to, like, know that and,
Thank
like,
you.
like, because my girl is a big deal.
Cass makes me thank you for I close my
Like,
eyes
okay,
because I can struggle
that's
to
the work
receive a
one.
compliment. Okay. I just wanna
That's the
thank you
work one. Well, that's the
and
secondary one.
receive
You need
that.
to know how to
Thank
take
you.
the compliment. Okay. So then
That sounds
the personal life one is that you I want you to be comfortable in taking from your community. And I mean that in the
mm,
most generous way. Like you give so much that you send food, um, amplify people, you connect people, you do, but like sometimes we want to do that for you.
mm,
And like you need to understand that that is us being good and sacred for you in real time. Like that is us being the hands and feet of Jesus in real time. And
yeah.
like you deserve that.
Now
Not
you're making
because
me
you
cry.
give anything, but because you just deserve that.
I'm breathing this in. There's a Buddhist meditation called loving kindness, and I feel like we kind of did it live, which is like you imagine someone who deeply loves you and what they would maybe say to you, you know? So
Mm,
it's like, and I feel what I feel in that meditation, which is just like enveloped in safety. And I think that like these remind me that we are God to one another, that like we need to hear ourselves reflected back in a positive way. So I think like wow, I didn't expect to be so emotional. I really needed to hear that. And I want to be a good friend to my community. I want to show up. And so to be showing up well enough for others want to show up for me is very affirming. And is my fear is
yeah.
sometimes that I'm not doing that. So to hear that from you, just
You
it
always
means a
do.
lot. It means a lot.
We
Thank
wanna
you.
do that for you. You have built
You do it. You do it. You did it right
amazing,
now.
amazing folks, and just trust that, like, past you was looking out for future you.
I didn't hear that too. I got a journal about that. Wow.
Okay, well,
I
on
needed to
that
hear this.
note,
All right. Thanks for that. I'm just kidding.
okay,
We
thanks
got. We'll
everybody,
definitely
like
put
and
this in the.
subscribe.
Yes.
Okay,
But
listen, this is our last recording session of the year. We did
no,
it,
wait. We
friend. We
gotta.
made it.
Oh yeah, we are. It is our last one.
We made it. This is like it's time to, like, sit on the fruits of our labor and just, like,
Yeah.
enjoy it, and for everybody who has listened with us, who's just now discovering us, whenever you're listening to this, I'm so excited and so glad that you found this community, and remember, we're always right here with you. We're right there with you.
We're right here with you. Love you, Cass. Appreciate
Love you
y'all.
too, my friend.
If today's conversation resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps more people find this space of exploration and connection.
And if you want to go even deeper, support us on Patreon. Your membership helps us keep these conversations going and gives you exclusive access to great content.
Because this isn't just a podcast, it's a community. And no matter where you are on your journey,
We're right there with you.